What's the crack, guys? Back at you again on this beautiful summer's day. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. So just basically everyone in the business chat, just getting back to you. It's been a while, very busy. What can I say? So I'll give you a little anecdote. It's about what this group is, what you should look at it, and just the scale of what happens in life. So I'll give you an example. There's someone who's doing really well for themselves. You never hear from them. They're off, say, earning money. They're off on a holiday. They're very busy. They got kids. They got responsibilities, and they can't give value to a group that like this. And that could easily happen with myself or Leo. And you should see value for what it is. For instance, some of the things I could be saying, you may be able to watch a 5 hour YouTube video, you may be able to do some research, spend a couple of hours trying to find out something. But realistically, if you're hearing it in, a single second or a single message, it saves you a lot of time, points in the right direction. So you're not going down endless holes, just researching everything. For instance, if you type in finance, maybe you learn something in it that applies to you that you want to know, but the other hour and a half, it's a waste of your life. So it's good to know people that are higher up the chain that know something because they can give you the quick step up. Now, we're talking about investments and stuff like that. Like for a qualified financial advisor, depending on how good they are and how confident they are and what they generally charge, you're talking maybe, a couple €100 to €1,000 for their time. And that's one off if they don't already charge for commissions on, say, a product they do, like an investment product or something like that. Same if you go to a broker. Now, you don't have to use brokers, but even online brokers have charges. Some people believe that, like, I'm not getting charged or anything like that, but there's multiple charges involved with an online broker. Simple examples would be an online broker has a commission. So as I say, there's a 0.2% commission on each trade or whatever. There's a bid offer spread. So what you bid for and what you can offer for are different, and they earn what's in the margin in between. The credit facility, so you have what's known as margin lending. This is based in, for instance, when you're able to do on Forex markets 100, 200 times leverage. Or for instance, even in Bitcoin, the way Leo was saying that he can get 3x on the particular broker site he's on. So that's called a credit lending facility. And if you end up going the wrong way, you get known as a margin call. I don't know if you've seen the film Margin Call, but that's what that saying comes from, is that when you've lost through the risk of trade in the market and you've been leveraged and then it goes to zero, they call your account and then close it. Unless they actually ask you to deposit, funnily enough, more money. But the important thing is, like, what can I talk about? What can I give value to? And you should take it while you can. Same with Leo. Leo's a businessman. He could be very busy pretty soon. If someone's a small business owner, they won't have time for you, realistically. I'm a qualified financial advisor. If I move on to the levels that I'm going on, and I've got an exam in September to move up another level, I mightn't have time for you guys. So take it while you can. It's not like I have anything to sell you because I'm not charging you €300 an hour or whatever. You should take action now. Take it while you can. For instance, I could talk about macroeconomics. I did it in college for a bit. I could talk about bonds, sovereign bonds, corporate bonds, EFTs, consensus, mutual funds, the difference between consensus and mutual funds. But not only that, I know some macroeconomics analysis on that. For instance, quick tip, most people are in consensus funds rather than mutual because of charges. That also leads to a risk, which I can talk about later. But then you got, like, for instance, life funds. You got these easy things like saving certs, corporate bonds, debentures, tax havens. You know what I mean? Like, where did even tax havens come from? Little questions like that. Like, look, you can look it up yourself now that I've told you, but this is the whole thing. If you listen to someone who knows ahead of you, they can show you the way rather than walking down like 3 to 4 really crappy paths. For instance, chart types. I went on a lot of this in the chat. I'm trying to point out some of the the indicators or technical analysis you can do on investments. You can do this on any market. You can apply it to anything. Bitcoin not so much because it's extremely volatile and it's a new market. So it depends obviously on trends. Sorry, I'm in work here. It depends on trends, and even a media thing would have a massive change in price. So that'd be similar to when Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan, and share price went down in the morning. So volatility has a lot to do there with the share price of Bitcoin. So what about indicators, stochastic flows, Bollinger curves? Williams or percentage. There's so many things that realistically, I'm not a full-time data analyst, but I'm aware of them because I've done investment courses. Then there's the candlestick patterns, what they mean, what they indicate. What you can generally take away from the data if you really look at a chart for a long time. For instance, what is a diversified portfolio, and why do the extremely rich people talk about diversified portfolio? Why have I talked about that? Is it because I'm trying to be safe with you, or is a diversified portfolio part of making profit? For instance, do people know what investments, the two main things you do in investments? One is you're protecting your capital. First of all, if you're losing money, you're not gaining it. So you protect capital. It's called capital preservation. Second one is profit. Now, profit you have to base on volatility. Volatility is always two things. It's basically risk versus return. Higher the risk, you expect higher the return. When they go with it's higher risk and you don't get return, this is when you start need to think about like where you're investing is a risky thing. So what are risks? What's a currency risk? What's a geographic risk? What's a market specific risk? What's a systemic risk? What's an interest rate risk? What's a political risk? What's a market risk? What's a company risk? What's a regulatory risk? Management risk? Longevity risk? Time horizon risk? There's an absolute load of these risks. This is where you learn in macroeconomics, you learn in investments too, you learn as a stockbroker. These are all the things you'll be finding out about. But maybe there's other things like, for instance, like where do I think the market's going? Well, the thing is, the information I've got is not all from myself. It's because I'm in finance, I'm talking to brokers, constantly talking to people that are related to this stuff every day. It's their job. And the thing is, like, if you go up with the higher designation, say to a certified financial planner or a CFA, I can't remember what CFA, but it's even bigger again, they won't have time for you. They won't give you this information for free. Go watch 5 hours on YouTube. And sure, you'll be like, it's for free. That's 5 hours of your time. How do you price your time? Do you price your time by an hour? As in, okay, your time's worth €10 an hour, so 5 hours, €50. Or say, for instance, you take yourself really important. You think you're an important person to yourself. You value your own time. You value yourself as a human being. What if you charge €100 an hour for someone to take up your time? That's €500. You know what I mean? That's the way billionaires think. That's the way really rich people think. They think like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Bill Gates, he drops and breaks his phone. Okay, or he drops his phone, and his phone costs €1,000, and that it costs more for him to pick up his phone than walk on, because that's how much his time's worth. That's just one silly example, but that's what I'm trying to say is time is money, influence is money, context is money, and I find people are always looking for the quick, easy way out, and there's no quick, easy way out. See all this passive income, like, lads, seriously, if you're into that stuff, you don't know the way business works. The only people that are on passive income are the guys who got €1 billion, $1 billion, $1 billion yen, and they're earning interest off it because the interest is passive. You think rents is passive? I could give you so many examples. Like you could take out a €2,000 mortgage. Your repayments are likely to be €900 per month over a period of a time horizon of about 20 to 30 years. You're going to have to manage the property. You have to go to pay mortgage section. There's going to be property insurance. If you're in a building, there's going to be maintenance costs. This whole thing of like, it's going to be easy, money's going to fly in. Not going to happen. All my stocks, my whatever investment is going to provide me income. I'm going to sit on the beach. Watch Gary Vaynerchuk. See what he says to people who talk about passive income. He's saying, listen, passive income, that's the first problem is you're already talking about passive income. You got to learn how to work. You got to wake up early. You got to be hungry. You got to work on something that you're possibly passionate about. Because that helps with the hunger. But there's so many things that realistically, it's not a quick fix. Like for instance, this is a 9-minute video already. If things were quick, I would have said in 15 seconds, passive income, grand. Sure, there's 7 billion people on Earth. They'd all be doing it. Do you know what I mean? And you think it's just billionaires. If you think something that's easy, well, everyone will be doing it. So if it's complex, it's not really passive. So automatically you have your answer there. There is no such thing as passive income or these quick wins. And the saddest thing I see in the chat is, Bitcoin's nice, it's very interesting. But if you're responding to Bitcoin and you're not thinking about business, you're not thinking about the sales figures that's behind me or the new business flow chart or how to hire or how to fire, you know what I mean? Cost cutting, profit measuring, you know what I mean? Statistical and data analysis on what actually is effective, how many calls people do, how many calls make you money, average policy or say average cost per sale. You know what I mean? For instance, say I've got an administrator here and they're doing 5 hours work on something. Is it worth my time paying that person that much money to do that work when I can have them do something else that would give a return on investment? It's about being a small business owner. That's how you earn money. And you know, if you keep on trying to do the easy thing, just remember there's a million other people looking to do the easy thing. That's the first thing I would say to you. Everyone's looking for the easy way out. You know what I mean? Just turn up and take the easy way out. Loads of them out there. Do you know what I mean? So you got to be solid. You got to think your way around things, and you got to realize the same things that worked 10,000 years ago, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, they still work. You know, fair enough, there's a nice few people with handy times, but that's the few and far between. Most of them, if you actually ask them who their father is, ask them who their father's father is, a lot of them, they got handed that stuff. You know what I mean? They got handed wealth, they got handed opportunity. It's, for most of you guys, I'd imagine you're working class. You know, I'm working class myself. I can feel for that. You just got to embrace hard work, waking up early, applying yourself, turn up ability, and working smart. So you got to be incredibly switched on. You got to be switched on all the time. You know, like there's so many things, like all the cool things I could talk about. I could talk about how there's automation in the broker markets, which is going to end up in a trade fall at some point where all the automation will be going the same direction because all the consensus funds are all doing the same thing. I could talk about unfunded obligations. You hear about the US debt? Yeah. Multiply the US debt by 20 times and you got an idea of how big unfunded obligations is. Type in unfunded obligations. You know, I don't have to tell you. Type in pension funds, and I'm not talking like, you know, some company out there. Type in China pension fund. Find out how much of the billions and billions and billions of their currency has just been launched into the market over the last 4 or 5 years. You know, Japanese pension fund, you find out about that one. See what's happening there. These are massive financial institutions. You know, the velocity of money, cashless society, credit. Like for instance, for me to get a credit record isn't actually not getting credit. Funny enough, it's the more debt I have, the higher my credit record goes back. You know what I mean? It goes up. Sorry. So like there's loads of things like PCP car finance, balloon payment at the end of it. You know what I mean? Then there's student debt that was mentioned in the chat. Absolutely. I think there's $1 trillion worth of student debt in America alone. Massive. Currencies, alternative currencies like the special drawing reserve right with the IMF. Does anybody know about that? So these are all the things that you learn when you're around people. I'm sure some of you know this too. And I'm not actually attempting to be condescending or anything like that. It's just that I hear, I'm one of those people that I wince. You see me going go, oh, you know, passive income, you know, or you see the moth to the light, like they're going to the light. The first thing they do is go to the light, the easy way out. And I'm like, oh my God. And the truth is, by the time someone gets successful, which is the theme of this talk, they won't be around to tell you it was all about hard work all along. Alright guys, I'm heading out now. So much to talk about. I haven't even touched the surface of it. I'm trying to build new systems in here. If you're interested in a Saturday, let me know. I can't keep on reaching out. At the end of the day, there's only so much energy I can put into this. You know, if you keep on giving and nothing comes back, you know what I mean? I have to say I really do appreciate the people that have come. They've shown a lot of energy. They obviously have a lot of energy in their own life. And then obviously some people, they don't have the time. So I'm understanding of that. You're off in another county. You're not even in the same country. You're working on Saturdays. That's understandable. But you just see the opportunity here. It's not like the game group where you got the opportunity to go out and maybe get a girl or something like that. You can get women with money. See all this looks black pill? Dude, get money. You think you're gonna have a problem? See Volkan. I don't even know Volkan. Probably a lovely guy. You know, I don't want to judge someone. But Volkan, if you worked at his money, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, you know. And you know, money is the biggest thing. If you want to judge yourself as a man, it's your productivity, 10,000 BC, your ability to knock another caveman on top of the head, your ability to go out and hunt a bear, or possibly stop a bear from hunting you. Nowadays, it's kind of like this whole crisis masculinity. Yeah, the gender paradigm has gone up, but no money. If you're still at the top of your game, you're top echelon earner, things will be up for you. People want you. People want your energy. If you're earning money, you'll feel better. You'll be positive. So, you know, Think about money. Think about how important this conversation is. Passive income. No, sorry lads, not having it. Alright, over now. Hope you like it. Bye bye.